shoot. Oh, wow. Okay. Hold on. Hold on. Hola. Mm-mm. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, I'm taking my time. Okay. All right. Hi, Mom. You're the first one on here. Hi, Mom. Oh, I'm trying to give some time. I don't have, you know, I'm just taking my time, letting the room fill up. How is everyone doing? Hello, please drop in the chat like where you are. Mom, I know you're in Vacaville. Hi, Mom. Um, Hola. This is a new Miss BD Ross. What's up? Hello. Where are you from? First time meeting you here, or at least first time me seeing. Hey, let me know where you guys are chiming in from. Um, Welcome to another edition of Friday Night Live. And I really wanted to have this conversation because it's important. And I've been here, and I just kind of want us to have a good back and forth, conversation about being over 40 and reinventing yourself. I believe that if you are not reinventing yourself, you are and not changing, then you're dying. You're doing one or the other. So please let me know if you guys can hear me well, because I have two fans on. Oh, hi, Miss Barbara. I am. Hi, Iona. Oh, you wish you were here. How are you doing back with your transition? Thank you, babe. Child, I had to have Honey bring me some ice water, y'all, because I forgot. But let me know if you guys can hear me, because I have two fans pointed at me and I wanted to make sure. How is your transition going, Iona, back home? I'm interested to hear. Hello, hola. So I'm kind of giving some time for the room to fill up. Miss Barbara and my mom, I wanted to connect you guys while my mom was here, but I was never able to do that. Kind of water. She'd have made some kind of water. Hey, Kimmy. Oh, it's your first time. Oh, hola. Hi. I think my first time in your chat. Well, welcome. I don't think it's my first time seeing your name, though. I'm going slow because I just kind of want to take my time tonight. Hi, Eileen. Good evening. How are you? Yeah, I just kind of want to take my time tonight, and it'll still probably be like an hour, knowing me, because I'm such a timely person. But I want to spend some time just kind of talking with you guys about this subject matter. I think it's extremely important. Your sound sounds good. Okay. Okay, good. Thank you for letting me know to being back at work. But you're still smiling. Good. I'm glad you had a great time. It was wonderful meeting you in person. It was wonderful. Okay, so just to give you guys a little bit of backstory, if you haven't met me, if you're meeting me for the very first time, my name is Tracy Collins, and I am a business owner. I've been in the entrepreneurial space for over 2 decades now. My specialty is working with women in wellness and also business strategies. So, working with women in the ways of getting them back well and centered with their body. And in 2023, last year, November of last year to be exact, I sold my company and I created the largest Black and BIPOC doula training company in the world. And I sold that to one of its members, and it is continuing to thrive without me. And I'm so glad that I was able to create something for Black and BIPOC people in the birthing space that allowed for change and empowerment and education. So Yeah, so when I say I specialize in business and wellness, that is the juxtaposition between the two. So when people, just to kind of give you a little bit of background, but my passion is there. It's both, but wellness is one of my areas of specialty because I've worked with women my entire adult life, and I pay attention to key points when it comes to how they are treating themselves, how they are centering themselves, and what impact is their wellness or the lack thereof having on their life. So we're going to be talking about a little bit about that, and I'll be giving you guys 7 tips on how to reinvent yourself. I think we are all in a space of transition one way or another. But if you are a woman over 40 at least, and transition is imperative. And how do we continue to make sure that we are putting our needs and ourselves first? I'm a firm believer in being selfish. I think selfish meaning like self-centering. We are preservation. When we talk about selfishness, it is not about without others. It is about centering ourselves when it comes to pleasure, centering ourselves when it comes to our needs, and setting the proper boundaries for ourselves. So that's what this conversation is going to be centered around. Again, it is a very important topic to me, so I hope it will resonate with you guys as well. And I'll be sharing more tips and insights and how I have certain tools to be able to support you along the way throughout these throughout this conversation, throughout this hour. Okay, so if you are new here or if you have yet to, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. So I'm glad that the percentage of the non-subscribers list has gone down. It was like 67, 68% of people who watch my videos had yet to subscribe, but it just lets the YouTube algorithm know that you like this content and you want to hear more of what I got to say and more from me. And it just really just helps me out, so hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, please, because it just further supports this algorithm and this whole YouTube beast that us YouTubers deal with on this platform. So I talked a little bit about my story, but I'm going to pick up from moving to Mexico. So my major transition for me, the year of 2023 was a year of transition, and in that I found that I had to reinvent myself. Like once I landed in our new home of San Miguel de Allende, Mexico. And some of it I was anticipating, but some of it caught me off guard. And I think it's just really, really important that we continue to have these kind of conversations. And I'm talking more and more about this, especially I think I'm doing it on TikTok, but I'm also doing it here on YouTube and my other platforms. It's letting people know, like, it's not just about getting abroad, it's also about staying abroad and how you can do that from a healthy space as you reinvent yourself. Now, let me say this, you don't have to move abroad to reinvent yourself. That was just my story. That was just my journey. And that is my continued journey that I am on. So let me say that too. So if you are where you are and you're happy where you at, you can still reinvent yourself where you are. I think for Black women, we have prioritized others ahead of ourselves from the moment Plymouth Rock landed on us. So I think it is good for us to have this kind of conversation about how we can begin to set the proper boundaries that we need, and also making sure that we are centering ourselves and our pleasure and using simple words like no to help us along the way. Y'all know I have my trusted notepad. I do. I have my trusted notepad. So we're going to get into it. Thank you guys for joining the room, for joining the space. I appreciate you. So I'm going to now talk. Hold on. I got to go back and forth between notes and screens and stuff, because I'm going to be doing some screen sharing during this time with you guys. So as far as our number one tip is, and I'm going to go through 7 of them, so please stay, and hopefully these tips will help you out because they have helped me out along the way. But first, we want to embrace self-discovery. I think a lot of people have gotten caught up in the monotony of doing things one way versus and they get caught up in the day-to-day, and then they forget about themselves along the way. Your day becomes a series of tasks. And in that series of tasks, you become exhausted. You're constantly in your head about what needs to be done, what you haven't done, what you is incomplete, and it becomes like it's not satisfactory at all. It becomes a series of checklists. But this is the point where embracing self-discovery. What are your passions? Get a pen down. Get a pen, get a piece of paper. I'm a firm believer if you want something, one of the first things you need to do in order to manifest it is write it down, right? So, what are your passions? What are your values? What are your goals? And what have you always wanted to do? And this part, I encourage you to, especially when it comes to goal setting, I encourage you to start small and work your way up. Have realistic goals. And I'm a firm believer, like have realistic and shoot for the stars. But when we talk about accomplishing them, it's also done in like baby steps. And oftentimes people they have this huge checklist if they have goals and passions and things that they want to explore in this phase, but they become overwhelmed by I gotta do this, I gotta eat right, I gotta get my money right, I gotta do, I got to exercise, I got to get in community, I got to do all of these things, and they become overwhelmed and then they decide to stop. And I don't want you to do that. I want you to take this time and I want you to go slow. And I want you to just think about what is it that you like to do, that you have yet to do, that you started and stopped, but it's still like laying in the back of your brain. Like bring those things up, give those things like that give you fire, those things that make you happy and bring you joy. How can you begin to accomplishing those? So, embracing your self-discovery journey is really, really important because it's like you're birthing something new. Right? What did I say when we first started? I said if you are not centering your pleasure, and if you are not changing, then you are dying. You're doing one of the two. There is no middle of the road, and if you're in the middle of the road, you're in a zombie-like state, right? So, which that means again, it means that you're dying. So we want to kind of break out of that, and we want to get that fire lit under you. So embracing what you've always wanted to do or new things that you wanted to accomplish in this self-discovery phase. So that's number one. Number two is upgrading your style. My kids, this is so funny, y'all. This is so funny. My what is she now? 20-year-old and my 31-year-old, she'll be 31 next week. They will constantly be in my closet. And at the time, my youngest child, she was 17, and she says it is a problem if your mom dresses like she's 17. But my daughters are always in my clothes, right? They're always in my clothes. And it's because I have more of a youthful dress about myself and how I carry myself. I'm not one, even though, how old am I? I'm 48 years old. I don't dress like, to me, I don't dress like I'm 48, whatever that looks like now. But elevate your style. I'm in a phase of transition right now when it comes to that. I'm looking at elevating my style. I keep saying I'm going into my goddess era. I'm going to embrace more flowy clothes. My clothes have been form fitting for a very long time, but because I'm moving in more of an easy breezy lifestyle mentality, I want my fashion to reflect that. So my fashion now will be elevated to bohemian goddess style. That's the look that I'm going for. So if you guys start to see new pictures emerge with me, it's because I have now gotten the attire to embrace that new fashion level of bohemian goddess. Right? But like look at like how you can match your fashion to like complement your personality, complement where you are at this stage in your life. So when we talk about again how you can reinvent yourself, this process is fun. This step can be fun, and you can do it in the manner of thrifting. You can do it on our online shopping, whatever fits your budget. Number one, your style and your access. Like, what do you have access to? I think it's fun. I'm a firm believer that you don't have to spend a lot of money on fashion in order to look good. If you want to spend money in areas, I like to spend money on like my shoes, bags, and other accessories. But even there, you don't even have to spend a lot of money. And style is really about how you put yourself together, how you look and how comfortable you feel in your clothes? And do you feel good in those clothes, right? So when we talk about reinventing ourselves, let that be an external expression as well. And people should look at you and people should be like, oh, she look good. Or, oh, I will wear that. You know, your personality should definitely reflect that. Now, I want to talk about prioritizing self care. I think I've spent so much time here. And for people who are just coming in the room, please be sure to announce yourself. I want to shout you out and say hello. For prioritizing self care. Now, I think the term self care is overused. I do. I think the term self care is overused. And the way people go about self care, I think they spend too much money on things that don't matter. Meaning, it kind of goes back to that, you know, your external fashion expression, like, oh, I am going to, you know, buy this bag and it's going to make me feel good because it's a part of my self care. But to me, I look at self care about how can I incorporate free things of self care on a daily basis so it becomes a part of my lifestyle, right? Part of my self care is I get up before the rest of my household. I open all of the drapes in the house to let natural light in. Hola, hey, Jet Set. Jet Set with B, what's up? Uh, I'll get this name in unity. I don't know why my brain can't put that together. Yeah, hola, come on, Bohemian Goddess. Yes, seriously taking notes. Good. Okay, okay. So back on track. Now, what are we talking about? Prioritizing self-care. This is my morning routine every morning, y'all. And it didn't matter like if I was in Oakland or in Atlanta or now here in Mexico. I do this every morning because I learned that this supports my spirit. First of all, I love the morning. The morning is my favorite time of day. And it is also where I am most innovative. But I also like the quiet of the morning before the rest of the world is fully awake. So I can come into myself. I need at least an hour to 2 hours to come into myself before I deal with the rest of the world, including my own household, like my own family. I've gotten a little better about like if honey gets up, or if the kids didn't get up early, but I've gotten a little better about that, but I get up now this is me calling myself sleeping in. I get up now between 7:30 and 8 in the morning. Honey gets up late, so this works out perfect for us. I open up all of the drapes. This is my morning routine. I light incense. I light 2 incense. So the first incense I light is in the main living area, and I will light Nak Chapa is the primary one that I burn. Number 2 is like copal or copal or frankincense and myrrh, which is the same thing. I light a candle on my ancestor altar. I come into our office space, and then I light some cinnamon incense. And if you know, you know, I light cinnamon incense. I also light this candle because I am setting the tone for sitting at my desk and making sure that that energy is well. Um, um, and so I do that. Then I go into the kitchen. This is my morning routine, y'all, and I don't ever waver from this. I make our lemon tonics every morning, which is the lemon. If you guys didn't see the video that I posted, but it was the lemon and cayenne pepper mix. And that is a great liver tonic. And also the cayenne pepper is great for immune support and also for cardiovascular support. And I make that for Honey and I get our coffee started at the same time. But before I even get to drinking the coffee, I drink the lemon water tonic, and then I take a series of tincture vitamins. And my vitamins consist of, now mind you, all of this is free. This is a part of my self-care routine. This is a part of me opening up our home for the new day. This is a part of me coming into myself and giving myself time to come into my body. Also, I've gotten off of my yoga routine, but my yoga routine was in here too. And trust me, it is going to be back because it is a part of preparing myself, but also allowing me to de-stress and really doing somatic body work. And I think somatic body practices are imperative for wellness, okay? Because the body keeps the score. And if you don't know the book, get the book, okay? The body keeps the score. But I take lion's mane tincture, and that's good for cognitive support. I take another mushroom tincture that is good for immunal support. I take slippery elm tincture that is good for your gut health. I also take 2 to 3 times a week, I'll take my iron supplement because for me, I have an issue with not iron, not not being anemic, but iron absorption. So there's levels to making sure that I get enough iron. And then I also need to incorporate moringa back into there. And moringa for somebody who, like myself, has heart condition, moringa is, good all around. So that is what and then like by this time, honey is up. I've made our coffee and I'm sitting down and I turn on music. I'll open up the doors, air is flowing. And again, this is a part of my self care routine. Okay. Now I have a whole nighttime routine too, but I'm speaking specifically about this because I've developed this process a little bit more over the course of time, and it is refined and it is methodical for a reason. And it allows me, because I've been such in a conditioned state to working with people, so I need that 1 to 2 hour period to come into myself. So when you think about how you are going to prioritize your self-care, think about that. Think about like what exercise habits are you going to, how are you going to move your body? How are you going to feed your body live foods? How is your body responding to those live foods? It's really important that you pay attention to those live foods. Sounds like heaven. Pay attention to how your body is, especially if you're over 40. Okay. Un momento. If you are over 40, right? You can't process foods like you used to. You cannot process foods. Miss Barbara we were at a dinner last week, and I have been noticing that every time that I eat carbs, my stomach would just bloat up and it would be so hard and I would be in pain and I would be so uncomfortable. So I have went to no carbs for the last week. I eliminated that last Friday night. I was like, that's it. I can't do it anymore because I'm hurting when my body is processing these foods. So I took carbs out of my diet. So maybe a little bit of carbs, but I did that because I'm paying attention to how my body is responding. I want to be able to move. I want to be here a long time to annoy honey and to annoy my kids, right? So in order for me to be here for a very long time and to annoy the people that I love, and to be bossy and to be moody, for them, I need to be in good health to do that. I need to have my brain needs to be sharp and I need to be able to move my body. And so that is really important to me. Food is extremely important to me. I am a foodie to the umpteenth degree, right? Okay, so the next way, as far as like prioritizing your self-care, think about your rest. And please don't confuse rest with sleep, because when we sleep, not everybody is resting, right? We can be in our mind. I'm one of those people, I think in my sleep. We can be awakened in the middle of the night. I'm also one of those people who wakes up between 3 and 5 a.m. If you know, you know. If you don't know, Google it. Folks who wake up between 3 and 5 a.m. And there is a different meaning for every hour. Um, so for me, it's like, how are you going to prioritize your rest? Resting could just be, I'm stopping, I'm listening to my body, I'm going to take a nap. I started to incorporate naps. I never took naps in the States unless my body was like done. And by that time, you're exhausted, right? But to where you can incorporate naps, you're prioritizing rest. And sometimes rest looks like you're meditating. Sometimes rest looks like I'm reading a book. Sometimes rest looks like I'm just going to sit still in here and I'm going to, give my body some nice full oxygenated breaths, like, and counting to holding it and counting to 4 and releasing it and doing it over and over. There is a statistic that has shown that Black women don't breathe, and how it is imperative and important for Black women to breathe, because we are so like we're hyper vigilant in the state of being. So our body is always on defense. We're tense all up in here. So how do you begin to pay attention to your body, like your forehead? Oh, that feels good. Massaging your forehead. One of the things that I've learned, massaging my ears. Oh my God. Like massaging my ears instantly relaxes me. And then you begin to work your way down. Also, making sure that your jaw is loose. We clench our jaw so much because, again, we're always on like, how are we going to be protecting ourselves? As Black women, we got to be ready because everybody is always coming to us for everything because we always got the answer, right? No, ma'am, no more. Like they say, get somebody else to do it. So like releasing your jaw, and then from there you are like releasing the tension in your shoulders and working your way down. Pay attention to how your body works. What is your body doing? Oftentimes we have dis-ease or disease within our body, but our body first whispers and then it yells at us. I don't even know if there's an in-between stage sometimes. It depends upon what's going on, but it whispers first, and you want to be able to train your intuition to be so keen that it pays attention to that whisper. Okay. So again, prioritizing your self-care. Now, when you're simultaneously prioritizing your self-care, you guys have heard me say, all right, how are we going to center our pleasure? And when people hear the word pleasure, they automatically think sexual pleasure. Yeah, I could go there too, but no, it's not about sexual pleasure. I look at pleasure from your five senses. How are your five senses being stimulated? Like if you're eating something, it should always be a party in your mouth. You should not, unless it's something that you absolutely need to intake for your wellness and your health. Whatever you put in your mouth, it should be a party. You should be enjoying it. Whatever you are smelling, like right now, I'm smelling cinnamon incense, right? I'm sitting in my office. This is where I burn cinnamon incense. I'm smelling that. That smells good to me, right? If I'm listening to something, I'm listening to something that is pleasurable, that brings me joy, things that bring me joy. I love Rasan Patterson. I listen to him on a daily basis. I love Marvin Gaye. I also love Abraham Hicks. I love listening to her. I love the 369 Hertz. I love those things because it stimulates my mind differently. I love listening to rain sounds as I go to sleep. That helps me as well. So when we're talking about centering your pleasure, I encourage you to look at it from a five sensory aspect. For me, I begin to break it down like that. And I think it helps people to, oh, okay, this is what feels good. This is what feels good and sounds good and tastes good and all of the things to me. And I encourage you, once you identify those things, then you are better able to attract that kind of pleasure into your life. And I say, like seek that level of pleasure in everything, right? Uh, Learning how to be okay with happy. This is a really good one. And I'm going to leave this right here for a second. And the reason why is because we've been taught not necessarily someone telling us not to be happy, but not to, like we shouldn't be. Okay, okay, now I'm gonna go just slightly off track, but I'm glad she said this. Thank you, Karen, for saying that. Um, Prioritizing your happiness, and I'm speaking specifically to, we ain't talking about nobody else, we're talking about you, is about removing all of the things negative and giving yourself permission to be pleased. Giving yourself permission to say yes to you and prioritizing that pleasure that I just spoke about. Removing negative. Let me tell you one of the things that I've done to help support my wellness. I have cleaned out and continue to clean out on a daily basis my social media feed because there's so much negativity in the world. We are subconsciously conditioned to think negative, to hear negative, and that just perpetuates negative thoughts and behaviors, and that it could be something that you are attracting into your life from an energetic perspective. Giving yourself permission to be pleased and happy is a part of cleansing your space, cleansing your life, and cleansing your life on so many different levels. Cleansing what you listen to, what you read, who you associate with, because anybody or anything that is negative, it is taking away from your overall good. And if you find that you need to do some housekeeping, I encourage you to sit with that, to become introspective, being okay with letting things go and letting people go. Because as you are releasing and decluttering, you are ultimately saying yes to yourself, and that is going to feel good. So when we talk about learning how to be okay with being happy, it's like getting into that pleasure center, getting into that pleasure focus. How can I chase that feeling? And when I tell you, when you start chasing that feeling of pleasure, of centering self, of setting proper boundaries, I believe no is a full and complete sentence. I am not going to explain my no. If somebody that I'm speaking to can't understand the fact that I'm saying no, again, if they aren't doing the 4 F's, which is feeding, financing, and you can fill in the other F, then we don't need to be having this conversation. And sometimes that's even up for debate. Okay. So you deserve happiness. Happiness does not need to be earned, and happiness and abundance is your birthright. Pleasure is your birthright. So, in doing that, we're talking about seeking happiness, seeking pleasure, and seeking things that will make us feel good. Centering self care. Self care is just self preservation. That's it. What makes you happy? One of the things that makes me happy is moving slow. Another thing that makes me happy is traveling. Another thing that makes me happy is helping women. That is one of my passions. I love helping women just elevate. I've done it for 20 years, 20 plus years, and I will continue to do it because that is what I was called here to do. And I know that, and I've wrestled and tussled with that because sometimes when you have clients that don't listen, it becomes frustrating, right? But ultimately, they're on their journey, and I'm doing the best that I can to help them become empowered. And I do that. It could be wellness, it could be business, it could be a combination of both. It could be mentorship, it could be coaching. But this is that is my passion. Those are the things that to see another Black woman win. Oh my God! When I tell you, that brings me so much joy. I do coach in wellness. Yes. Am I a certified wellness coach? I can create my own damn certification because that's really what it is. But it's because of my history in the medical field of working with women that yes, I am a wellness coach. Yes. 20 plus years of working with women in that space. So, and I have a different approach because I'm looking at it from a medical aspect and a holistic aspect at the same time. Okay, so next, exploring new skills. So challenge yourself. Challenge yourself to learn something new. You can get on all of these apps. Like YouTube is free. YouTube is totally free. I learned how to garden and grow plants and food from YouTube, right? Challenge yourself, learn something new. Again, if we aren't changing, if we aren't elevating, we're dying. That's what's happening. So when we talk about learning a new skill set, that should give you excitement. Do something that if you are reinventing yourself, you are always going to be a forever student. Okay, you are always going to be a forever student, and being a forever student, that means you live a life of curiosity. You are learning, you are curious about things, and you are making sure that you get the necessary information to support your level of curiosity that will challenge you to grow. One of the things that I love about the fact that we move to a different country is we are always learning every day, even when we don't want to. Even when our brains don't feel like it. Honey and I are always learning. We're learning a new language, we're learning new numbers, currency, how it's being said, we're learning customs. We've learned to slow down. I've learned to pay attention to my body differently. When I tell you, I put myself in a place that forced me to learn. Okay. Uh, Always learn, always be a forever student. This is the part where I encourage you guys to chase that little person in you. Now, if you think about the little person in you, I want you guys to drop in the comments. Please drop this in the comments because I want to know, what did you want to be when you grew up? So think back to your 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old self. What did you want to be when you grew up? Like, put it in the comments because I want to see. Because if we are constantly chasing that child in you, That is going to bring you so much joy. One of the things that I used to love to do, like I've always wanted to be in arts and entertainment. If anybody really knows me, knows that that is my ultimate goal and passion and ideal career for me, right? But one of the things I used to love to do, and Elwanda, I know you're here, you can vouch for this, is my mom used to sit and color with me. And I would get so mad because her colorings were always better than mine. Me and my little, less than 10-year-old self, right? My mom has beautiful penmanship. And she has the best penmanship that I've ever seen still to this day in my years. See, a princess ballerina. Come on. Okay, a public speaker. Yes. Oh, hey, lady. So we're dropping in the comments what we wanted to be when we grew up. A doctor. Okay. So now, like, if you get back into that childlike state, right? If you get a clothing designer, like the level of like science, the level of artistry that is in here, a dancer, a fashion designer, and I always have my drawings on me. But AI also retired to write. Yes, come on, my own encyclopedia, but come through. When I tell you I love creativity, oh my God. Like everything that we see out in the world first started with a thought, right? So when we talk about like learning a new skill, think about that person, that little person that you guys let go of, that you guys forgot that's what they wanted to do because you became tainted by the ways of the world and what other people have pushed on you to do, or they made you feel like this is what you have to do to survive, right? Or this is what you have to do now. And ultimately, that's not what you really wanted to do. Okay. So, how in learning a new skill, how can it be like for me? Coloring now serves as a place where I can release my anxiety if I'm on it. Now, I can totally see this with you. A marine biologist, like I can totally see that. But how can we get to those childlike states of reigniting that part of us and learning our new skill? And the reason why I say that is because if you chase that little person, then you're chasing your joy. You're chasing innately who you actually are. Being an adult, you've just been accustomed, you've been trained now to live in this space called the world or society, but we're created by a creator to create. I don't want you guys to ever forget that. When you stop creating, you are dying. When you stop creating, you are living a mundane life. You are created by a creator to create. So, what ways are you creating for yourself? How are you creating the ambiance of your home? How are you beautifying your spaces that make you feel good and supported? How are you creating and cultivating good relationships? How are you creating your physical expression through your body movement or through the clothes and fashion that you wear? Like, how are you creating these things that make you feel good and supported? Okay. So learn a new skill. And in that new skill, like it's something that you always wanted to do. And I will say this, if it is something that has been put in you, it is also something that is meant for you to explore doing. Okay. The next thing that is really important is connection, community, network. Get in community with people that are like-minded, that are like-hearted, people who support you, people who are your cheerleaders and who are going to positively pour into your life. Not people, we're not talking about piranhas. We're not talking about people who are going to just suck the life and energy and blood out of you. No, we're not. Society and life does that by itself on its own. So when we talk about creating community, join groups. Sometimes there's, Facebook groups online. It could be, meetup groups that you either find online and go to, or you create yourself to attract others to. But network and put yourself out there. And this can be uncomfortable for people because we always fear like being judged or putting ourselves out there. But I will say, when you put yourself out there, like attracts like, and you will begin to attract other. Come on, a writer and a singer. Y'all, I love this for you guys. I love this. But like attracts like. So when we start putting ourselves out there and write it down, like the community that I have now is the community that I prayed for. So write it down, pray for them in advance. Thank you, God, universe, creator. Thank you for gifting me with this now. We always want to manifest in the present tense, right? Because we want to bring it into the present. So write it down, pray about it, put yourself out there. This is a part of learning something new because you will be learning other people. And like attracts like. And for people who have, well, I don't trust nobody, I can understand that, but also it has to be a give and take situation in that, right? So putting yourself out there. So the next one is reevaluate your goals. So personal and professional goals. Now think about everything that you have right now was something that you have prayed for. Let me say that again. Everything that you have right now, you had prayed for it at one point. Okay. So now, how are we going to reevaluate our goals? How are we going to elevate? How are we going to cross them off? How are we going to change up? Maybe it doesn't serve where you want to go anymore. We are on number 6, y'all. Just so hope y'all writing and following along. But reevaluating your goals, break them down, put them into actionable steps that are attainable and easy for you, things that don't make you feel overwhelmed. I think the 12-week year is a great book to help you break your goals down into realistic, actionable steps, from daily to weekly to monthly actionable steps. So it doesn't seem so unattainable when it's looked at in 365 days. It becomes your 12-week year. So you are accomplishing your goals every quarter or accomplishing a new goal every quarter. Okay. So reevaluate where you are and where you want to be. And it's okay if you want to let stuff go. It's your life. It's all right. You can change up and you can switch up being a woman over 40, a woman, period. You have the right to change your mind. Exercise that right. Okay. The next is embracing your wisdom in all of these years, these decades that we have accumulated. So we have days and weeks and months, years and decades behind us. You have wisdom to offer. So embracing where you're at now, embracing the things that you've gone through in life, embracing what you know. And this part, now I'm gonna switch sides just a minute. But this part in life experience is also ways that you can monetize yourself. I'm just gonna say that and leave that right there. We'll put a pin in that when we come back to business one day on a Friday Night Live. But because of your life experiences, first of all, they're unique. No matter if you have similarities to other people, they're unique because they're lived by you, and we can all learn from one another. So embrace the level of wisdom where you are. But this is also where I explore getting in community with people who are older than you, right? I talk to Elwanda. Mom, we talk like what, 3 times a week on average? We talk about 3 times a week. But I was talking to her the other day and we were just laughing and laughing. I'm like looking at her, Mom, you didn't know that and say it out loud. But I was just laughing and laughing and laughing because it's like I'm talking to my girlfriend. So get in community, even Miss Barbara. Like I love Miss Barbara. Miss Barbara, you don't know that. But she just brings me joy. Like she does. Like her presence, just knowing she's there, it brings me joy, right? My godmom Karen, just the wisdom that these women have, like average. I know it's not 3 times a day, Mom, but it should be, right? um, but the wisdom that older women have to pour into you, oh my God, just you want to listen to what they have to say. And the reason for that is because they've been here longer, they've done it, and they know what they're talking about. Aging is a gift not awarded to many, right? Aging is a gift not awarded to many, y'all. So when you have the opportunity to get in community with people who are older than you, take that opportunity, first of all, as a blessing, and you can listen to what they have to say. Okay. I believe that sitting at your elders' feet and learning, like we can learn a lot from them. So embracing the wisdom of where you are now, I think that's extremely important. Do we have any questions before I continue to go on? So we've covered 7. It's like embracing self-discovery, upgrading your style, your fashion, prioritizing your self-care, learn a new skill, connect with community and putting yourself out there and networking, reevaluating your goals, giving yourself permission to change that up. What do I need to put on a mug? Aging is a gift not awarded to many. That I actually say that a lot too. I say that a lot. You don't ever want to make fun of older people because you too hope to age, right? Um, Connecting with others, reevaluating your goal, and embracing wisdom, embracing where you are. How did I maintain my femininity and all my responsibilities? You know, my so Alan and Bobby are notorious for reminding me of this part. Um, they're notorious, and I'm like, really? Really? I think because honestly, because I've seen so many women who have not. They've put other people, including their children, and because we've been taught to, in front of them, they're they're not prioritizing them, and I've seen it again. I keep telling you, I've worked with women for 20 plus years. I think I'm going, we're in 2024. I've worked with women for 24 years of my life, and when I'm telling you, I've seen women in the most vulnerable states. I've seen women in the most vulnerable state that a woman could be in. When you talk about working with women in their bodies and wellness, I've seen it all. I've seen it all, and I've seen the adverse effect of and the deterioration of a woman's body when she is not prioritizing herself. So, with that being said, I'm notorious for saying no, and I don't care. Like I have a really bad nonchalant, I don't give a mentality, but it has served me well, and it gets to the point to where if I'm upset, people know that okay, if Tracy is pissed off or if she's hurt, she's really there because I live in such the middle land of not caring. Like I don't care. If it is not impacting my day-to-day life, I am not going to give it my energy. I'm not. And the reason why is because I can't afford to exchange my energy to that degree. So if I'm going to give an energetic exchange with something, it is going to be of the utmost importance to me. Otherwise, I am not going to bother. So when I talk about like maintaining my level of femininity, it is about I'm first of all, I'm a Libra and I love aesthetics and I love like what looks good, what feels good. We're attracted to beauty by nature, but it's like, how are we getting comfortable with our body? We were talking about this today. I am a nudist at heart. I walk around naked all the time. I was on the phone with my mama, and granted, this is my mama, but you know, we on FaceTime and she looking at my titties. Like, I do that. I mean, I am notorious for my mom will attest, she is coming home like people see, like Tracy immediately comes out of clothes. And the reason why I do that is because I'm comfortable there, but I also want to be comfortable in my body and what I'm looking at. When we talk about femininity and we talk about embracing that level of who we are, we must first be comfortable with the body that we've been gifted with and being grateful for what it has brought us to and through. Okay. Like through multiple heart, like 2 open heart surgeries. I've given birth to 3 children. I also had a stillbirth little girl at the age of 23, but I've made it through. So I'm grateful for my body. That's why like I try to take as much care of this vessel as I can. And what happens is it cultivates a level of appreciation and femininity because I'm, in that space along the way. So I've been able to maintain my femininity and responsibilities by prioritizing myself and even prioritizing my mental wellness. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want to sit up and act like um I don't want to sit up and act like I've had it all together. No, I've made a whole bunch of mistakes, right? I made a whole bunch of mistakes. And I've also encountered people that I should not have, and I allowed people into my space that shouldn't have been there. But what it has done is I've taken those lessons and I've applied it to my life so I don't have to repeat the mistakes. So I'm very diligent about how I center me. I'm also in a partnered relationship or marriage that person allows me to be. I don't pay attention to shit in our house. Mom knows this. Wanda, please attest to this. Hey, Aileen, my Libra sis. Wanda, please attest to this. Do I do anything in our house? Anything Alan can. And honey, she'll fuss at me. She really fusses at me, but she lives more in the masculine state. So she's more of the protector. And she said it today. I've set this house of our home up so you don't have to think about anything. And that is such a weight of relief being a person. When we choose our mate, it's not necessary, or when our mate chooses us, it's not necessarily about like, oh, I like you right now. It's like, no, this is a business relationship. How are you going to enhance my life? Because otherwise, I don't need to be with you. If you're not making my life easier, we don't need to be together. If you're not adding value to my life, you don't need to be together. This is my mama. Tracy lets Jay do everything and me everything. See, I tell y'all, I do. I live in that space. Honey does. That's her personality type. And her personality type is to be the protector. My personality type is I ain't trying to do nothing. No. And if I have to step up, I will. And we definitely have a seesaw and a dance about us that complements. But if you are attracting a mate or have a mate that is not making your life easier, then I don't know what the hell you're doing with them. I don't. So when we talk about getting into our femininity, it is about who we are sharing our time with, who we are sharing our space with, who we are sharing the most intimate parts of ourselves with. And if I gotta work hard doing this shit, I worked hard raising 3 kids. I ain't doing that. No. If I gotta work hard in relationship, may it be platonic or intimate or platonic or like in my marriage, I'm not doing it. It is not worth that level of energy for me. I'm at the stage, we're talking about over 40 now. We're at the stage, right? Yes, of course, you're my mother. But we're talking about how are we making our life easier? How are we exercising our voice, elevating our throat chakra to say no? How are we centering our pleasure? And like, how are we cultivating community that loves us and support us? And it's an energetic exchange of empowerment and upliftment. Like, we have to start being the world, and words create worlds. So if you speak and write the kind of world that you want, you will attract that, but you must first become that. So I know it sounds cliche and all of these metaphors, but when I tell you the simplest things are the truest. Okay. Hey, Donna. I appreciate you. I got your email. Thank you so much. It really made me feel well, because sometimes I feel like I'm putting stuff out in the universe and nobody is listening, but your words were very, very sweet. So I thank you so much for that. Okay, so now I want to share some resources with you guys. And we're talking about reinventing ourselves, right? So I'm going to share the screen now, because I have some resources for y'all. I told you guys. And so, okay. Now we're talking about reinventing ourselves. Our website is finally live. We're excited to offer you guys the Redefining Your Life Abroad Summit that is happening August 10th and 11th of this year. It is a virtual summit. This is where you cannot, people always, they got you on the other side of getting abroad. We're not talking about that. We're talking about once you are there, how you can maintain a healthy lifestyle in your new space and place and culture and country. So redefining your life abroad. I'm so excited to be able to share this information with you guys. It is, we have 5, almost, currently 5 speakers, but the link is in the bio. Our early bird registration right now is $199. The link is in the bio, you guys. It's myself, Bobby of Aging Grateful. She's going to talk about like being Black and married and abroad. I'm going to be focusing on the power of the pivot and wellness and strategy. I'm going to be bringing all that together. I will also be in conjunction with Dee. We're going to be talking about the LGBTQIA community and abroad. This is so important. Dee is going to be talking about your assets from, financial, I'm sorry, from like investing, and she's going to be covering that, how you can let your retirement and your investment support your life abroad. Michelle Wedderburn of Casser Elm, who I just love. When you talk about style and sass for a woman over 40, Michelle is, I always call her, she is your girl. She is a girl's girl. But she is going to be talking about creating a business abroad, a brick and mortar. And Alan, my girl, she is going to be talking about freelancing and getting government contracts. So it's really about how we can, and so the link is in the bio. You can get your early bird tickets. It is a 2-day virtual summit, and we're here to pour into you guys. Did you guys see that? Can't see the screen. Oh my God. Why did it not show you the screen? Okay, hold on a second. Let me see if I can do it again. Let me know if you can see the screen. Oh, I know why. This is why. Now, can you see the screen now? Let me know if you can see the screen now. Can you see the screen? Please let me know in the chat if you can see the screen. Okay, perfect. Okay, let me click back on it. But it's in the link is in the bio. And you will be able to go ahead and sign up. The early bird tickets are $199, and it's from now until June 1st. The early bird special ends June 1st, and these are the women that I'm excited to share the stage with. And we're going to talk to you about the different facets of having a successful life abroad. Okay. Any questions with that? So if you are interested in attending, you can get your early bird ticket now, and it gives you access to the summit and all of the details you will be up to date on. And we're just excited. We're excited. We've been spending at least a month or more, probably about a good 6 weeks on this summit itself. And we found that it was really important because what I said at the top of this live was, women, especially women over 40, they're in an interesting place right now. They're in a position of redefining their life. They're in a position of reinventing themselves. They're in a position of how are they being supported from a wellness aspect, meaning like mentally well, financially well, even, in relationship, how can you be well? And we wanted to put together something that will support all of those for our audience. Okay. The next thing, y'all, what do I have? Let me see. So did y'all know, I have a wellness community? Alan was like, Tracy, you need to share this. So I'm going to share my wellness community. I love talking about wellness. That is one of the things that, again, I said is my passion, is sharing my space with you. But I do it on a different level, and I share elevated information in my private community. So I'm going to show that to you guys. So I'm getting used to this whole screen share thing on StreamYard. So kind of work with me, bear with me on this. So, all right. Can y'all see it? Please let me know. Can y'all see the screen? I think y'all can. Y'all can see the screen? Okay. All right. But you can join my wellness community. And if you see, I have it listed, I have them titled as chakras. And with each different level, you get a different access to me. But it's really where I focus on, women's wellness, from pleasure to wellness to your sexual awakening, because we must first be okay with ourselves before we can invite anybody else into our personal space and it be healthy for us. So I talk recipes in there. I talk herbal remedies in there. I give tips about the things that I do. A lot of times people talk about my skin or even my teeth. I think I need to give that. So, there's different things that I do for myself that I don't mind sharing with other people. And that is my space. And I also have a group coaching series that is coming up. And if you are, wait a minute. Let me stop the screen share. All right, y'all, still getting used to this. Interested in working with me privately, I do have a group, or in a group setting, but really talking about the pivot. It is going to be a group coach. It is a group coaching series, 6 or 8 week series that I do to help support people in their transitional period, primarily women. If you're a man, I know I can help you, but I'm not going to be that good at it because men are not my expertise. Women are. And that's just the fact of the matter. But I'm going to do another one. Let me see. So we talked about the summit, we talked about my wellness community, and I want to show you this. Okay. So it's called The Power of the Pivot, and it is a holistic community group coaching series where I work with women on different components of elevating the pivot and why it is so imperative, because to master this and to become a master of your pivot. A lot of times people get caught up in like, how do I maintain this transition in my life? What level of support can I get? And spoken from somebody who is doing it, who's done it, I wanted to create a safe space and also a place for people to be able to do that. And just let me show you that. There's a way that you can get on the wait list. But in the meantime, the group is a 6-week group coaching session. So embracing your mindset and conditioning, self-discovery and reflection, navigating uncertainty, because trust me, this space, you will have a lot. There's a lot of uncertainty in transition, building network and community, setting goals, taking actions, and then also celebrating your progress and moving forward. And in my private community, I'm sorry, in my group coaching, it's also about making sure that you guys have access to the wellness tools along the way. So a lot of digital products will be provided with you. And if you are interested in joining that wait list, it is linked in the bio. There's already folks on the wait list, so I'm excited about that. And I'm excited to bring that to people. And if that's something that you're interested in to get the updates on and to be a part of, be sure to click the link in the bio and your name will be added to the wait list so you know when enrollment opens. Yeah. All right. Any questions, you guys? I think tonight was really good. I'm excited about the summit. I think the summit is going to be great. I loved having this kind of conversation. This is wonderful. What about a retreat? See, now let me talk to you about one of my weaknesses. One of my weaknesses is putting together like group events. Group events that's in person. That is not a strong suit of mine. Now, there are companies that support that. Like if I were to do a retreat, it would definitely be in probably Costa Rica, because Costa Rica is a part of my love language, just like Mexico. It is, like Miss Barbara said last Friday, she said it is Eden. When she said that, I was like, if one word can sum up that place, it is the Garden of Eden. Okay. So, what about a retreat, please? I would love to give a women's wellness retreat. That is something that kind of pops back up into my brain. But because I know my weakness about putting something like that and that magnitude together, I would need I will need support. I would need support around that. So I hope you guys were able to find today's topic about reinventing yourself important, and I hope you were able to get a lot of things out of it. If you are watching the replay, please be sure to type replay in. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. I know, Lena, I know, right, Lena? If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments. You guys can reach out to me privately as well. My website is always linked in the description, and all of the information that I talked about as far as the resources are all linked in the description in the bio. I wanted to make sure, description in today's live. I really wanted to make sure that you guys had everything that you just saw. It's already there for you. Thank you guys so much. This is great information. I'm looking forward to putting these into action. Eileen, I cannot wait. I'm so excited for you. I really want to pull you. And I know, girl, you got things going on, but I can't wait to see you on the other side of your journey. Don't come in here looking at your watch fussing at me, honey. All right. So you have community and support, and now the retreat will be possible. You're right, Mom. All right. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining me on Friday Night Live. Next week, announcement, special announcement. I'm not going to be here next Friday. I will be in Bacalar. So I'll probably drop some pictures and stuff, but I will not be here next Friday because we will be on a girls' trip. But I'll be here Friday after next. God say the same. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.